Before that, then, we find comes the experience that is the outstanding one of a glory, yet of a suffering, turmoils, yet joy, beautiful experiences, yet sorrow and shame. For the entity was in that land where the Master walked, and the daughter of Mary the mother of the Lord. Ruth. In the experience from those joys, those sorrows that came with the changing scenes of the activities of the entity during the experience, there came much that finds in self today the hearkening to the experiences in vision, this listening, this expectancy that so oft becomes as a part of the innate self, this sensitive force for helpfulness. Yet at times of questions, at times the rumble as of disturbances, the fearful things that come from activities of those in authority, that make the ways of men as a fearful thing, rather than the expressions of the glory of the love of the Father through him that made the way straight, that gave the understanding that there is a way that seemeth right, but it may lead to misinterpretations. But he that leaneth upon the strong arm of the Father knoweth the Son, and knoweth the way. And his ways, though to the world are hard, to the soul become as stepping stones for those great glories that come as it ministers, as the entity through that experience in its material activity, ministered to those that were in want, that were in need of the material things. Hence there comes in the experience in the present the helpfulness to the individual, to the masses, to those that have been as less fortunate in the material things of life. The heart goes out in adoration to those that, though in sorrow they smile, though in their turmoils and strife, they remain faithful and pure in heart. These become as helpfulnesses to the entity in its influences in its relationships to others. But learn ye patience with thyself. In the experiences the entity became the more closely associated with those in authority from the civil forces, or the Roman influences through those experiences after the death upon the cross, and after the periods of those beautiful experiences with the disciples and the apostles, there came then that helpful aid in the entity's activity as it journeyed with those that would aid and bring to account much of those forces, that brought to the powers of the Roman period, the awareness of the Christ influence, as exemplified in the man Jesus. In the experience in the present, those influences will and do remain as the more beautiful, those to which it will hold the more. Other sojourns in the earth were experienced, as in the city in the hills and plains, when the entity was among the Grecian forces that turned again to the satisfying of their own selfish motives. There the entity had turmoils. Yet the forces as in the experience of Ruth, that co-laborer with the mother of the Master, are the outstanding ones. As to the activities in the present, then, remain active in keeping clear in the hearts, in the minds of those that may be materially or mentally aided, the fact that he, the Master, lives, in the hearts and the minds. Not as one far away, or that one should ascend to bring a message. For as he hath given, I stand at the door and knock. If ye will but open, I will enter in. In this message may the entity find, as it journeys through the experiences of life, that the greater hope, the greater blessings, the greater understandings may come. For all men seek a living, personal God that manifests not only in their sorrows but their joys. So many seek that which is as a prop, and forget when affluence or pleasure comes that to whom, and with whom they will sup, as they enjoy themselves in the activities in the material relations. Keep that faith of Ruth, that period when there came almost all experiences that may be said to be heir to the flesh. But as thy brother, thy Master, thy Lord, learn ye patience.